Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Poets use verbal aphrodisiacs. I'm gonna tell you what, some person to really, there's a lot of talk about the mouthpiece. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of people who, really focus on the physical appearance and the looks. And of course, my foundation is the body game, but I emphasize the word foundation. But you still have to have a conversation with the woman. You still have to have a conversation. Now remember, and I shout out Master Teacher BGS because he broke the game down to its core. He used the word trap. You gotta have that trap. I'll use the word bait where you draw the woman. Hey, that's body game. But you still gotta have the conversation. You still gotta talk. What y'all gonna do? Because you got some dudes thinking, oh yeah, it's just about the looks. Okay, the women go over there. They like personality ain't important. I was like, bullshit. Bullshit. What's she gonna do? Just walk over to you and fuck you? Seriously. Now that might happen on some rare occasion. You at some party or something, and she a little bit inebriated. But shit, 99.9% of the time, you gotta have a conversation with her. You gotta talk. Shit, you even gotta talk, even just to say, okay, let's go over to this corner here or something. You still gotta communicate, right? So that gets into the mouthpiece. And let's be real, there's a reality out there. There's some guys who might look average. I mean, seriously, they might look average. They might not be that tall. Shoot, even their own mom don't think they're handsome. But then, the mom, they be like, baby, I still love you. But baby, you had an unfortunate face. Yeah. You got that from your father. It's a good thing he was funny. But but the thing is that mouthpiece is real. And see, it's real because understand something at a basic level. Now, men in general just look at a woman's physicality. In general. Just look at a woman's physicality. In general, a woman does look at a man's physicality too, but she also goes on her emotions, how she feels. And you can affect her emotion by how you talk to her. Everything from the tone of your voice, because see, the mouthpiece ain't just saying some magic word or something. It's the tone of your voice that actually affects it, because women are, when they interact, they going on their five senses. Understand that. Let me go off on a tangent on that. And I talked about this in my book, Nice Guys and Players. But they go off their five senses. So yes, their eyes, because their pupils are actually dilated if they see certain guys that turn them on. They like his physicality. But they also like his how he smells, how he sounds, and if they get a chance, even how he touch. It's when a woman is really turned on by a guy, she'll find ways to touch him, how he feels to her five senses, right? But that's a general thing. Back on track. That emotional thing, what she's hearing and how you saying it and everything, and then the words, because if you know how to use your words, really it's no magic word, but the combination how you might present it if you're talking about something can turn her on, because she got the physical thing with her senses, but she also got the emotional thing. And I say this several times, that's a secret on how pimps and preachers get a woman. That's a secret on it. They don't know how to talk a certain way. Like if you look at like a preacher, they got women lined up. And it's not just because they're talking about like God. It's not just that, but it's how they talk about it. Like women, they'll go to different churches just because they like how a particular guy preach. And like any ministers, anybody who's been to a seminary that's listening to me, they can tell you. And if I have a minister listening to me, let me know if you've been to the seminary. They will teach you how to talk. If you listen to a minister, and you can watch. If you attend a church, you can check it out there. Or if you just turn on, find some televangelists or something, how they speak. And this is particularly true with black ministers. particularly true with black ministers. They speak with a certain rhythm, and they know how to move that woman up and down. So does the pimp. If you notice, the pimp will speak in a certain way, certain tone and everything. Now, I said poets. What do poets do? What do poets do? If you ever watch a poetry thing or a poet in action, they can speak, they can present in such a way that they use those words. They can take a poem. They'll say a poem, they'll speak in a certain way, and the woman gets hot. Now, I first saw this. I used to go to these poetry sessions on a Saturday night back in the late 90s, right? And I used to watch how these poets were rolling and how the women were responding to them. And see, these poets, they'll say a certain thing, they'll talk, and, especially if they can get into some erotic poetry. And they turn the woman on because what are they doing? And it's not just the words, but it's the tone of their voice. It's how they present it. It's how they go out. They don't speak in a monotone, right? They'll hit them with that verbal aphrodisiac because they know how to master those words in such a way. They know how to master it. They know how to flow with it in certain ways. And they can say something, it might not even be directly sexual, but they can say it in such a way that women get hit not just by the words, but the tone of the voice and his presentation and how he's dressed and everything, his body build, how his hair might be. They can pull that all together, but the powerful thing is the words. Even if they look average, they will hit them in such a way that the woman's like wet. I remember I was doing this one event. I was selling some books, and there was a poet there. And he was more on the stocky side, but he set a woman down on the stage, and he hit her with some stuff. He just hit her with the poetry, and I watched her reaction. And I said, once he finished, I called him over. I said, hey, dude, here's my book. It's Sexual Chemistry. I want you to read this part right here. And it was, I call it a poem in my own book about Mr. Goodbar. That's that sexually attractive man to a woman, right? He read that thing and immediately bought it. And he said, yeah, this is me, man. This is me. And I was like, and I've seen him a couple of other times, and I watched how he would just talk to a woman. He was hitting them with that verbal aphrodisiac. It's powerful. That mouthpiece is powerful. And like I said, it's not just a magic word, because you get some guys, they think they can just say a word. Like they might hear a poet say something and see a woman go crazy and say that they say the same thing to another woman, and she just look like, huh? Nah, but it's a part of it. It's how you present it. It's how you speak. It's the rhythm in how you speak, the tone of your voice and everything. But the poets, they hit them with that verbal aphrodisiac. Boom. Because they hit that emotion. And remember, you hit a woman with their emotion, that emotionally. Her emotion is connected to her womb. It can open up her womb. Whereas maybe your physical appearance didn't necessarily open it up. You hit her with the words, right? Boom. She's gushing like a waterfall. But it's a simple verbal aphrodisiac. And if any poets are any poets here listening, shoot, y'all confirm it for me. I ain't gonna ask whether or not it happened. Y'all just confirm it, because I seen too many of y'all in action. Seriously. If I'm walking down the street with a young lady or something, and, Alpha Showpiece walk by, I ain't gonna even worry about it too much. I'll be like, yeah, okay. But then a poet come by, then I'm like, oh, wait, let me pay attention. So anyway, y'all, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.